Okay, where did I lose my virginity? What city did I lose my virginity in?
What city?
Yeah, what city?
Okay, I do know that it was not in the U.S.,
It was
right?
not in the U.S.
Was it in Palestine?
That's not a city. I kept it specific enough to the city. Which city in Palestine?
Which city in Palestine?
Yeah.
Palestine is not a legit enough answer?
Nope.
This is horrible that this is how we're talking about Palestine, though. Which city? This would mean I would have to have an extensive knowledge of Palestinian cities, and unfortunately, I do not.
Where was Jesus born?
Jerusalem?
Oh boy.
Fly, fly, oh to be a fly. Fly, fly, come and be a fly on the wall.
Hello there. Our house is a mess, y'all. Come on in. Ooh. A little finger action there. Welcome to Fly on the Wilde podcast, the show about dating, about parenting, about some ghetto-ass relationships, and doing what? Recording it all for the world to see. I'm your neighborhood-friendly black girl, Amber.
I'm Ben. I'm ready here to blow your world right up.
And as you can see, happy Valentine's
Happy Valentine's Day.
We wanted to be
Yes.
festive today. We are recording this a little bit in the future, so I'm just going to say this, Ben.
In the
I'm going to
past.
tell you. We might be in the future as well. Yes.
We were recording in the past.
We're recording this from the past. Greetings from the past.
Her
Hello to the
tenses,
future.
right? Amber's always been a little tense, which means that she doesn't know how to work her tenses.
Okay. We are recording this a couple weeks before Valentine's Day. Not too far in advance. But I'm telling you right now, I need you to listen to me. Are you listening to me?
I'm listening. Come
Are
on.
you looking at me?
I'm looking at you.
I'm not picky this year for Valentine's Day, babes. Okay. This might be our 9th or 10th Valentine's
But I got to
together.
pick something.
No. I'm going to tell you what I want.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm listening.
For Valentine's Day this year, on February 14th,
On the edge of my freaking seat. What is she going to ask?
I just want a delicious, crispy chicken sandwich. That's it. That's it.
I can make that for you.
I don't want you to make it.
I can make it. I have a good buttermilk recipe.
No,
Camera, follow
because
me, camera.
we run
I
the
can
risk
cook.
of things going awry. I just want to go to a spot and have a juicy. I want to unwrap it and have a juicy bite of a delicious crispy chicken sandwich. What do you want for Valentine's Day this year?
I always just give me time doing something that we would not normally do. So like going and seeing a movie like The Boy and the Heron, or going to see Godzilla -1. Do something.
Well, you saw that. We'll get there.
Yeah,
we ain't there
but
yet.
do something that I want to do. Play a board game, do something, some nerd thing.
Okay.
I love time. Time.
So
is
board
so
game for you,
important.
chicken sandwich for me.
Mm-hmm.
Deal. That's all we want. All right, Ben, since we are so in love, I want to see how much you know the love of your life. I have
Okay.
not showed you these questions yet, and
Oh.
I told you to prepare 3 questions
did
for me.
prepare 3
So Ben
questions.
and I are going to see how well we know each other. There should be one definitive answer with this. What's great is if you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to put the answers to the questions like in the middle section here, so you'll be able to see it while Ben's answering it. He has not seen these
I've not
questions,
seen these.
I promise, and I don't know.
They're not open-ended.
I don't know what you're gonna ask
They're
him.
direct answers.
You ready for your first question?
Yeah.
Okay. If we're at a bar and Amber wants to order a drink from the menu, a nice little fun cocktail moment,
Okay.
what is she likely going to order?
A margarita or a Moscow Mule.
Why?
Because she likes a little salt for the margarita. She likes a salt. And then a Moscow Mule she likes that fizz.
Gotcha. That was good. Yeah. I definitely will say correct on that. I want to keep it simple. I tried to be a gimlet girl for a season of my life.
Oh, yeah, you were doing gimlets.
I was doing the gimlets. I'm
'Cause
like,
it's fun to
I
say
don't like gin.
gimlet.
You know what? I like tequila.
Yeah.
We were looking for tequila and salt. But yes, salt is my preferred flavor profile. Good job. Okay, you got the first one. What is the first movie that scared Amber? This means I went to a scary movie.
And you ran out The Sixth Sense.
Dang, you answered
Yeah.
that well.
Yeah.
You know that.
You
Okay.
ran out. Yeah, you were. And the scene too. I remember you told me the scene where they seal the hanging bodies.
Yes. Oh my God, you listen to me. I'm not
I
going to be
listen
as
to you
good.
all the time.
I'm not going to be as good.
She looks so good. She looks like a fresh period right now. Everybody, that
I was
you
going
are
for
fertile.
like Queen of Hearts chic.
Yeah. I was thinking fertile, like I just had a period. Like I'm ready. I am ready. Come inside me. Like I can still have babies type of thing. Because red is the sign of life, fertility, blood, gushing, like gore.
Question
like, you look so good.
number 3.
Was that too much?
Which,
too much?
no, you're fine. It was too much, but we're going to keep going. Which of your habits irritate me the most? There are a lot. Which of your habits?
Not putting things back when I take them out. That's a big one. Like opening up cabinets, not closing the cabinets. Walking the dog, taking the leash off, not putting it back. Not putting things back. Not putting the keys back. You always complaining about the keys not being put back.
Wow, this is very true. We were looking for toilet seat up. We were looking for toilet seat.
Well, that's putting
up.
back. I kept it broad enough. I don't put the toilet seat back. Putting things back the way they are
Or
supposed
even
to
I
be.
would have also accepted not flushing the toilet as well.
Not putting things back.
Okay, whatever.
It falls into that. Anything that, I kept it. Yeah, but toilet seat is the more specific answer. Okay.
You got your 3?
I did.
You can do it off the dome?
Yes.
All 3?
I got all 3.
Okay, your answers are right here. Hit me, dealer.
Okay, where did I lose my virginity? What city did I lose my virginity in?
What city?
Yeah, what city?
Okay, I do know that it was not in the U.S.,
It was not in the U.S.
Was it in Palestine?
That's not a city. I kept it specific enough to the city. Which city in Palestine?
Which city in Palestine?
Yeah.
Palestine is not a legit enough answer?
Nope.
This is horrible that this is how we're talking about Palestine, though. Which city? This would mean I would have to have an extensive knowledge of Palestinian cities, and unfortunately, I do not.
Where was Jesus born?
Jerusalem?
Oh boy.
Bethlehem.
Oh, Bethlehem. Yeah. Yeah.
I should get credit for Palestine.
Maybe, yeah. So I'll let you go with that. Yeah, I lost my virginity in Bethlehem. I was there. It was quite the experience. Learned a lot about
Just in the first time, or about having sex, like
just all of it. Spent a lot of time with Palestinians. I was but we'll get into more of that. My other question is, what 3 languages that have I taken classes for?
What 3 languages have you taken classes for? 3 languages?
Yeah. I've studied 3 languages.
I know Arabic.
Arabic. Yep. Studying Arabic in Palestine.
What 3? That's just not fair. That's 3 answers. So do I get them all?
I think it's
You have studied 2 other languages, Ben?
yes. You should know this.
Is Spanish one?
Yes, absolutely. I took Spanish classes in high school.
That should not count.
I
Everybody
took a class
Spanish in high school.
Exactly. And I've studied it because I put everything in Spanish subtitles. Amber hates this. She hates this so much.
I don't hate it.
But in a way, it stimulates my brain when I watch things, especially like Clone Wars or like kids shows. You watch them in Spanish.
I don't hate
and
it.
you
Just
learn
sometimes
so much.
I actually didn't understand what they said,
Yeah.
and now I can't read the Spanish and understand what they said. Okay, so Arabic, Spanish, and there is another language that you took.
I studied in college. I took 2 years of it in college.
You took 2 years of this in college.
I'll give you a hint.
No. Is it super specific?
No. It's pretty general.
It's a pretty general one.
It's a romance language too.
You didn't take
We were
French.
practicing. Yeah, I did take French. I took
You
2
did?
years. Yeah, I took 2 years of French in college. I could have fooled you. I didn't. I was not paying attention. You know, I was actually playing this game
I
online.
had no clue you
I
took
know.
French, Ben.
That was, but I think I did mention it because when we went to Paris, I was studying. Like I love languages.
How long did you take French in college?
2 years. You have to. The undergrad.
You took
I had
2 years
2
of French?
years, and I don't know anything.
Not a like we went to Paris and you were
I was
not
struggling.
helping.
I could read it a little bit, some of the vowels and stuff. You know.
I need to see your college transcript.
Okay.
I need to see your college transcript. Okay, what's the last question? Because that was a 3-answer question.
Okay, the last one is, if I wanted to die, how would you go about killing me?
I mean, there's kind of like no wrong answer. That's not a specific.
There's a specific way I would like to die. If I wanted to be euthanized, how would it be? We watched a documentary about it.
Okay. I do know. So you would want to go to Sweden
I would want
to
to go
Dignitas?
Wow, that's it. That was literally it. That was the specific answer. I was like Dignitas and Sweden.
I mean, well, you just said we watched a documentary about it.
I know,
that
but
kinda
it was
led
sort of hard. It was sort of hard one. So those who've not seen
So
this,
why don't you say like, what is the way I want to die?
What is
I
the
feel
way
like
that
you
I wanna-
asked me like, how would you kill me? I'm like, I can
Yeah.
say whatever I want.
yeah, how would I want you to kill me? How would I want you to kill me?
Just say,
So,
how do I want to be killed?
How would I want to be killed? Yeah, that's a
Because
better,
it's
that's a
hard
better
because it's like, well,
phrasing of
how
it.
do I want to kill you or how? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I do know that you don't want to be, you don't want a funeral.
Yeah.
You want to be cremated
Yeah.
and then you want to like become a tree, right?
I would love to be like
you want your ashes, or no, you want me to donate your body to science.
I would like that. Yeah,
And
you
if it
can
can't be
donate to
donated,
science, yes.
if they're like, we're
harvest
good,
all
we
my
don't need it.
organs, take everything out, hair grafts, whatever. Some balding people out there, they need some of my beautiful, luxurious hair. Take them out, rip them out of my skull, give them to someone else. But yeah, I would, if I had a like Alzheimer's, for example, I would want to go to Sweden, sit on a couch, have them inject. And then just slowly, like you holding my hand next to me, and then I would die. So if I have Alzheimer's,
This
you know?
is so romantic. This episode
welcome
is
to
so
my
romantic.
This is actually, I don't know, talking about this stuff and knowing that you know how to appropriately kill me. It like turns me on a little bit. It's like kink.
It's death kink. You have a death kink.
Is that death kink?
I think so. You want to get into the first
By the
segment of the show?
Yeah, speaking of kink, I was reading a lot about breath work and breath play. And actually, there's lots of different kinds of breath play. Like putting because Amber and I went to this munch, which is basically like a non-sexual setting where you talk about BDSM kink stuff with other people. And one of the people we were talking to, their pronouns, I think, were she. She was saying that like breath play in dungeons and many dungeons won't allow it because it's too dangerous. But there's many kinds of breath play. A lot of people think just choking is breath play, but it's also like covering the mouth,
right?
Or hold, like you could tell the person hold your breath. There's lots of fun like little kinky ways to play with your breath.
Gotcha.
So or like sharing breath back and forth. I don't know. So I was like, oh yeah, because like choking can be fun. I guess it's a little scary. It's like, ugh, but there's other ways to do it.
I feel you.
Like holding your nose, you don't have to be dangerous with it. Happy Valentine's Day.
The first segment of our show is called #Influenced.
It's time for the hashtag influence.
Are you okay, Amber? Did I do too much?
I'm spectacular. So what are we talking about? We are creators on the internet. And we try to keep up with what's going on the internet. And right now, what's really hot on the block and very scary is deepfakes. Recently, Taylor Swift had some fake photos made of her. If for those of you who are not familiar, deepfakes are like when they can like take somebody very famous's face or anybody's face and put it and sync it with a body, and it looks pretty real.
Yeah, the most famous one I can think of is when Jordan Peele did the Obama one.
Right.
That was very, very famous, maybe like close to 6-7 years ago now. I think it was a little while ago. And that's when I first heard of deepfakes or even saw it. So, so Taylor Swift was a victim of the deepfake.
Yes, and the Swifties were not having it. So these photos were circulating on Twitter or X, and then the Swiftie gang were like, "Nope, that is our queen. Like this is fake. Take it down. Take it down."
What
and
was
so
the picture of?
I don't know, but it was very clearly of her doing some like sexual acts or something like that. Like you cannot find this on the internet now, and it's like if you at this current time, if you search Taylor Swift, X will say like something is wrong, like you cannot find or whatever. So the fans are like, had her back, got these photos swept of the internet like immediately.
So fucked up.
Very fucked up. And I was reading a lot about how this is obviously going to just start happening to a lot of women specifically. It says it is morphing women's faces into porn, stealing their identities, coercing sexual expression, and giving them an identity that they did not choose. And so how this one professor was saying that deepfakes are just completely an attack on privacy because like you're taking these and you're pairing them with something that this person is not sharing or whatever, and if you feel violated in that way is essentially what this article was talking about.
I remember I was a victim of sort of deep fake, but it wasn't even real. But basically, like, my roommate found this picture of this guy like plowing the shit out of this other guy. It's like ass in the air, and then he put my face on that face and put that as my background. Mm-hmm. So I remember, and I was like at a Christian college, so and he was just like a weird fucker. But I like opened up my computer at one point, and there's my face like getting railed, and I was like, oh, that doesn't look too bad. But it's also not cool to then post that publicly. It was like a private sort of joke type of thing. This was a roommate of mine, and so I think that's a little bit different. But I remember feeling like super grimy at first. And like, how do I do this? You know? Right. Oh.
And I mean, it just is like, well, this can happen to Taylor Swift, who's probably got a great social team, a great PR team,
She's
great team of like, and all of the fans having her back. Like, this is probably going to start happening to everybody.
She's probably going to write a song about this.
Maybe
I feel like she could.
It might not be explicitly be about this, but just like about feeling violated and used,
the violation
for sure. Yeah. Like, and it's so interesting because in some ways this is being celebrated and monetized. For example, I'll tag this in the episode notes. I found this account on TikTok. It's called like Deep Tom Cruise. Okay.
Oh, I've seen this.
And it is all deep fakes of like a younger looking Tom Cruise and this guy, this trained actor who like is very good at impersonating Tom Cruise. And if I show this to my mom, she would not think it was fake. Not and what is the worst part for me personally is that account is verified on TikTok. And as somebody who I have applied, I'm going to make this about me for just a second. I have applied for verification on TikTok no less than 10 times. So it is incredibly frustrating that a fake, deep fake of Tom Cruise that has 5 million followers is verified and likely monetizing. And not that I need that money to go back to Tom Cruise, but that's just so strange that is allowed. And I was looking up, the New York Times had this great article about like 5 ways to regulate AI. Like, other countries are actually trying to start doing something about it. Like, I was reading in Europe, for example, when it comes to like deep fakes and stuff, what they're going to start, Europe's like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. If we find out you're doing it, we get 6% of the money that you're making.
Tax them for it. Yeah.
They're taxing for it. So you can make as many deep fakes as you want, but you giving us a cut. And then China's trying to regulate it as well. They're basically saying like every synthetic AI video that is generated, unless you want to go to jail, you have to put on there that it's a deep fake, like via a watermark or something like that.
I feel like that's very reasonable.
I think it is too. I think it is too. And so I was reading like, what is the U.S. trying to do? And Biden was
Nothing.
Like, just regulate yourselves. Like the Biden administration, that was their response.
The laissez-faire kind of like, we're let businesses do whatever you want.
Well, the Biden administration is essentially telling people that like, we are going to let these platforms regulate themselves. So he's not telling the users regulate yourselves.
I wonder who's supporting the Biden campaign.
It's like,
who's giving Biden money.
Right.
All
so it's
these
like,
companies.
So Biden is telling like X, TikTok, Meta, all the girls, like, regulate yourselves.
We love the free market. Do whatever you want.
But I promise you, if they taxed them, like tax people who are making AI. Like, just tax people for stealing, like...
Kids in schools could get computers. All kids in schools could
literally,
get
like, I think this deep Tom Cruise account would probably just pay the fine and keep making content. And then that money could be used to, like, do something for the U.S. economy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think he does clarify that he's not... That account clarifies that he's not Tom Cruise and his...
Yes, and I think this account has also started putting like hashtag deepfake on it.
I think that's great.
But why
I think
is that account verified?
Funny.
Why is that account verified?
That's TikTok's fault. That's fucked up. You should be verified, Amber. I verify you.
I would verify you too. And I'm cool with not being verified.
Fresh. Look at that. She looks so good.
I'm cool with not being verified on TikTok. Just don't verify a robot. Just do me that side. It's cool if you're not verifying me. But what's frustrating is that robots got like clout out here.
So here's the thing about verification. Once you're verified, it's easier to prevent people from like stealing your content and shit. And so you're sort of salty because and we're both salty, but you are extra salty because you discovered that someone got like 13,000 followers reposting your videos.
All of them.
All your videos. And some of these videos, 2 million views or something.
Yes,
and so
with the baby. I'm just
like, dang, that could have been 13,000 followers for us. Like, we need those followers.
And people were messaging me like, girl, did you make a new page? Like,
No.
I'm like, no. So I have lots of spam account pages.
Yeah.
And some of them aren't performing well, so I'm like, whatever. But this was the first one I was like, I have to report this to TikTok because, like,
copyright
this person,
infringement
it would be so easy for this person to start DMing people, posing as me, and scamming people and asking them for money and things like that. Like,
we don't want that. We will never ask you for money. Just come see our show.
You know what?
At the Lodge Room.
Yeah.
February 21st. Just buy a ticket. We'll never ask you for money. Just buy a ticket.
I'm not gonna say that because we asked for money to make our film, which
did
is
ask for
also
money.
at another film festival, the Pan African Film Festival. Thank you very much. I'm not gonna say I'm not asking
through
people for money.
third parties, and
Right.
it's always through like a purpose. You know.
Yeah, but even I recently saw so Bob the drag queen just recently had some like insane family struggles and like his mother's house burned down, like all this insane stuff.
God.
So he gets on the internet and shares like it's been a difficult last couple of weeks, but like we're all alive, we're all safe. And the second that the next thing he says after that is, and I just want to say, I haven't seen this happen yet, but if any GoFundMe's go up pretending to be me, please know it's not me. I'm not asking for money. It's like you have
GoFundMe.
to immediately say that.
GoFundMe. I was reading an article a couple of years ago when I was doing the research about whether to do GoFundMe or Kickstarter, and GoFundMe all is not tax deductible. I think GoFundMe has some like sketchy parts about them as far as verification processes. Kickstarter is really intense as far as who they accept on their project. And they will take their money back. They wait a long time to give you whatever funds you make.
GoFundMe does or Kickstarter?
Kickstarter does.
Yeah.
To verify that you have produced the project that you said you're going to produce. And if you get funded for a project, you don't produce that project, they will take that money back and give it all to the people who donated.
100%.
Yeah. So I think
100%.
Kickstarter is great, where GoFundMe is not that. So I prefer to go to Kickstarter to support people.
Yeah.
But
and Seed and Spark and all of these like creator projects. I just worry, especially, I worry for everybody right now with deepfakes and AI. Like I'm getting a little bit more scared of it as we continue to like navigate the digital
scared
space.
that someone's gonna like steal your identity or
no,
just like
not so much
make a
identity
porno
steal.
of you or something like.
I'm not even that pressed about that. What scares me is that someone could make a video of me that looks like I'm blindfolded and tied up, and they could create a voice pattern that sounds like mine, and they could send this to my parent or my grandma, and it's like, look, your granddaughter is in trouble. Like, you've seen her before. Like, this is her face. This is her image. Like, we need you to send money immediately. Like, I'm afraid that like that's where we're getting. Like, people can easily be scammed. Like, that's happened to some people, and it sounded just like it, and then they've been able to like hack into your phone number to say that, like, wire this money quickly. Like, what? If you can make a deep fake that good, why can't you make a fake ransom video, a fake deposition video, a fake porno? Like, that's where this is going.
Yeah, fake porno is like the least of our worries.
Yeah, I don't really care about the porno.
It's like the other ways.
Even though you can monetize it.
Or even saying like, Amber Wallen supports this terrible organization, or like me, Amber Wallen has now joined Scientology. Please like donate,
Right.
It's a way to scam people out of their money. Oh God, you're right. Yeah. I mean, that's where...
Especially older people. Like, if somebody made a deep fake and sent it to your mom, she would totally think that was you.
Yeah, and asking like, hey, Mom, so good to see you. Hey, can you just send me money at this account, Amber and I? Oh, my God. Yeah, that's so fucked up. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah.
Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where you have to just double check stuff. That's where, like, you need to be a critical thinker. You need to see... You need to double check things. Double check your resources every single time. Stop getting your answers from Reddit. Fuck that.
Yeah, but can't you see, like, I don't know, years in the future, Wilde's at school, she's 7, and somebody's like, are these your parents? You're just like, I mean, it looks like she would probably figure it out, but you know what I mean?
If someone made a deep fake of us and showed it to her, like,
yeah.
Oh, you think kids would not be able to discern? Well,
Not really.
I think that next generation will just be growing up like being skeptical of everything.
Got you.
They're like, yeah, that's not real. Like, I need proof. Yeah.
You're right.
I need extra proof. Well,
Hopefully.
certain kids.
Yeah.
And that's always been the case for critical thinkers. Throughout
Or so what happens?
the propaganda machines.
She comes home and she was like, I was totally in detention. Like, turns the video, and I'm like, is this are these deep fakes getting really good, or were you in where you said you were gonna be?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, deepfakes then just become a form of like animation,
right? And then what's the line like you know that like that robot, little Michaela, that has all those Instagram followers.
Yeah.
Like, she's like fully a robot. She's verified, but that page claims like this is a robot, even though it's made money. Da. And so, like, are we going to reach a point where that's regulated? Because what is the difference between like that and a cartoon? Like, if I can show a picture of a cartoon or a drawing, why can't
one
little
is
Michaela?
using the image and likeness of someone else, where a robot is like its own separate thing. Like, it's the impersifying or the stealing of someone's identity.
Right.
One is identity theft. One is like creativity.
Right. Yeah. Which one is which?
So like someone doing a deep fake of Obama saying like, yeah, motherfuckers. Like, I forgot. That's my Obama. You're a motherfucker. Jordan Peele did his whole like, and he ends up saying fuck repeatedly throughout this deep fake. And then he reveals that he's Jordan Peele. Mm-hmm. And then he gives like this PSA. That right there, if that was done without irony and trying to, damage a person's reputation, that I think needs some sort of regulation, some sort of consequence, a fine, you go to court, defamation, whatever. That's very different than someone making a robot that has its own identity.
Right. Anyway, you want to move on to the next segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's scary. I was like, where's the love? Let's bring it back to the love. The next segment of our show is called Imperfect Parent.
Imperfect parent. Imperfect parent.
So, Ben decided to take our daughter, who is, she'll be 2 in April. So she's 21, 22 months when this comes out. Ben took our daughter to see Godzilla -1.
Her first movie ever!
And I was a little worried. I'll admit I was a little worried at first because I don't, the people pleaser in me. I was like, I don't want you to be crying and ruin the movie for others because Ben might just let you cry. And then I was worried about her being scared, but you took her. I let you take her. I let y'all have a daddy-daughter date. And why don't you tell me how that went?
So this all started about 2 months ago, where I basically begged Amber to go see Godzilla -1. I'd asked you in Georgia. I asked you in California, 2 separate states. And she was like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. We had a friend in town. Amber was like hanging out with this friend. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take my daughter to go see this, right? I asked the internet. Most of the people on the internet was like, absolutely not. Don't do this. But I don't listen to advice.
Why did you ask the internet then if you didn't want to
I just wanted to see what they would say. But I did go in the understanding, I'm going to take Wilde here, that I would have to leave at any moment if she got too rowdy. So the first thing I did, I loaded up with like apple juice, applesauce, cheddar bunnies,
Cheddar bunnies.
like she says cheddar bunnies. I load up with all these snacks, right? And then I go into the theater, and basically the way it worked was that she went in for free. She's under 2 years old, so I didn't have to buy a ticket for her. So I saved like $11 there. And then none of the handicap spots were being utilized, so I was able to park her stroller. And so she sat in her stroller. We watched it from there. 8 ounces of milk later, 2 juice boxes later, 2 applesauce pouches later, and probably like a box of cheddar bunnies. We watched this amazing film. It's black and white. It's in Japanese.
It's a foreign film too, right?
It's a foreign
so she can't
film.
read
It's in
any
Japanese.
Of the subtitles.
And at one point when Godzilla first shows up, she like started, so I had to take her out of her stroller, and she just cuddles with me. And we're watching it the whole time. She's talking throughout it, and when the baby shows up, she's like, baby, scary, Godzilla. She says Godzilla. It was an absolute wonderful
turn around
experience.
And be like, is there a child in here?
Yeah. So one person did turn around. My man Stefan, like he turns around.
Why do you know his name?
So Stefan turns around and he's like, huh. I see him looking, and afterwards he's like, are you Ben? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's so great to see you. He was like so excited. I was like, hey, I'm like, I hope she didn't bother you. He's like, not at all. He's like, actually, I recognized Wilde before I recognized you.
Blue?
And I was like, that's fair. Wilde is more of the star. Ooh. And so we talked for a moment. I was like, how'd you like the movie? And he's like, yeah, it was great. And it was very wonderful. We had a great connection. Stefan was dope as shit. So if Stefan, you're out there, thanks for being super cool, saying hi to us after the movie. And then I realized that was the day I realized that the purpose that you have children is that you can force them to do things with you that no one else would do. And in this case, it was going to go see Godzilla -1.
We go to the movies all the time.
Not to see, I wanted to see this Godzilla -1. That no one expected this movie to do well. This movie was supposed to have like a week. Right? Yeah, it was supposed to have a week run. Be in the theaters for like a week.
Wow.
At select theaters, and you could go see it.
You told me you cried to it.
I cried. It was very emotional. It dealt with like post-traumatic stress disorder. It dealt PTSD. It dealt with sacrifice and various levels of sacrifice.
Okay.
The very basic premise is that this kamikaze pilot, who's a suicide bomber, experiences anxiety, decides to go land on an island and pretend that he had some plane trouble. And so he lands on this island because he can't do the thing that he said he was going to do. And while he's on this island, Godzilla comes, kills everybody. And at one point, he has the option to like shoot Godzilla with this machine gun, and he can't do it. He's like shaking. So the movie sort of follows his story. And at certain points throughout the movie, he questions like whether Godzilla was even real or if he's just suffering from PTSD. And it involves him adopting a little girl, and so that little girl Wilde kept him like baby, and then him finding new friends and trying to build his life after this war. And there's a line where he's like, because the war has ended about 2-3 years, and there's a line where he tells his friend like the war never ended for me, because he's suffered so much from this guilt from not saving his friends. And the film sort of follows his story. It is fucking insane. I did not think that, in the words of Ayo Edebiri, what's her name? Ayo.
Ayo.
I
think she pronounces it Ayo.
Ayo did a little review on Letterboxd and was like, I did not expect to get gut punched in the stomach by a Godzilla film. So I bring up her because she's a black woman who saw it. So,
Okay, so how was the time that you spent with your daughter?
Oh, it was amazing. Like cuddling with her, giving her, all the snacks and stuff.
I feel like y'all should maybe just make this like a thing from now on. Like you and her go to the movies together.
It was a lot of freaking work, though. I'm not going to lie. I had to do work.
Yeah, thank you. Be honest.
It was a lot of work because at points she wanted to go back in her stroller, and I put her in the stroller, and then it got scary again. And there were some jump scares. She like jumped like that and then hold on to me. So it was a lot of work. I had to keep on feeding her, make sure her snack things were filled, make sure that her milk was filled. Then we switched the juice, and so I'm in the middle of the dark, like opening up this juice and like pouring it in. I'm like trying to get like opening up her snacks. Like
I just still think y'all should just go on your cute little dates now.
I do. So. I think. For me, the fact that she sat through a 2-hour movie was incredible. She enjoyed it though, and it wasn't.
You asked her.
Yeah, she was like, "How'd you like the movie?" She's like, "Godzilla."
Yeah, she was. She did come home saying Godzilla.
She did,
which is very cute.
Yes,
I love that for y'all.
It was so good.
Okay, you're opening my mind.
How have you helped your daughter this week? What cultural experiences have you provided for your daughter? Because I made a little artisan
what?
Artisan. Like my daughter's going to be an artiste.
Oh, artisan can sometimes be used as an adjective. So I was like, artisan bread, artisan.
Oh yeah,
what?
artisanal. Oh yeah, I guess I said it wrong. She's going to be a little artiste.
Artiste.
Who watches art house films.
I got you.
What'd you do?
I have been diving into the world of more complex hair braiding styles.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
I have, which takes a long time.
Shout out to Asia Martin.
Yes, Asia, my friend, has really been encouraging me to be like, I can. Well, she hasn't been saying like, girl, why aren't you doing your child's hair?
She just does it.
But whenever she watches Wilde, I'll come back and I'm like, oh my God, her hair looks amazing. Like, I need to put in some more effort. Yeah. So I've just been like 1
It's
a.m.
really
scrolling through.
good.
It looks great.
You
I'm more
fucking killed
talented
it.
than I think I am,
Yeah.
and it excites me because it's only going to get better.
You are very talented. Do not cut yourself short. And you look fine as fuck. You look like a cherry.
Thank you.
You look like a cherry at the bottom of a Manhattan. You know that at Edelman's, that bar in New York we went to with all the Madeline like artwork? They had these like beautiful bright red cherries. Like you're at the bottom of a nice thick Manhattan and you drink it all up and then you just bite into that juicy like cherry. Like that's what I'm thinking right now. Like I just want to bite into you and like the liquor just like pops, like explodes in your mouth.
I think we should get out of the imperfect parent segment. But I wouldn't mind a bite later.
You look so good though. You do look real. The sweatpants look so.
Taylor.
Can you actually stand up? Can you stand up for the audience? You just stand up for the audience a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Yeah, so for those who want some ear porn right now, so Amber's popping up and down. For those who are just listening to this, she looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. The
Anyway.
tits are titting.
Can we do the show? Thank you for the compliments, though. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. The next segment of our show is called...
Adjust your neck collar. Her neck collar with a little
Thank
movement. She got to straighten that. She always says, like, you didn't tell me there was lipstick on your teeth. You didn't tell me that,
This is what I
that
sound
there was
like.
poop stains on my pants. Why did you tell me that, Amber? What did you tell me that, Ben?
That's not the question I be giving you. That's the question you be... The next segment of our show is called the I do's and don'ts of relationships.
I do, I do. I do, I do. I do, I do. I do, I do.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that for you. We have two fun questions. You know, this is our episode that's all about love and cherries at the bottom of the glass. So naturally, we have two women in peril. Let's go. Let's go to the calls, shall we? Oh, before we get into these, remember, if you need relationship advice, y'all been doing a great job calling in, being vulnerable. We thank you so much for that. If you would like to call in and get our advice, you call 1-833-FOTW 311. Okay? So call in and tell us all about your problems. Here's our first call.
Hi, Amber and Ben. I have a question regarding my own relationship. I've been with my boyfriend for the past 4 years, and he has been an instrumental part in my life. He's added a lot of value to my life when I was going through family traumas. When I got my first car, he helped give me money for my car, has never asked me to pay any bill while I've been figuring out my life and my career. And we've been off and on living together for the last 4 years. But the one thing that kind of hurts me in our relationship is that he has no boundaries with his family. So he's in the process of building a house, and in this house build, he's doing it with his dad and his brother-in-law. And every day they come into our existing house that's on this land, and they dirty up the bathroom. They come inside with their muddy boots on. It gets all over my bathroom rug. They just leave mess out when they're eating lunch or sandwiches in the kitchen. Nobody ever cleans it up. And I'm getting really frustrated. I don't know how to handle it, but I also am getting my own apartment again really soon. So, I don't know, does it really matter? But, yeah, that's my question. Bye, Wilde.
Well, do you pay rent in this space?
No.
Are you helping with the mortgage in this house?
He sometimes pays bills. Like she said
Cover
something
all-
about like how he covers all the bills.
All the
while
bills as she gets her life together. So I'm sorry, if he covers the bills, you might have to clean up the sandwiches.
They can't even just take their muddy boots outside.
I think
I'll pick up the sandwiches. They can't just do their muddy boots outside.
This is complicated.
They can take their boots outside.
It's so hard when
They
you
can leave
stay
them
place rent free, because then people do quite literally walk all over you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the situation this is. It looks like you're in a space that's his space and they don't respect it as your space.
Right.
And that's shitty and that's annoying. So I think you can be annoyed by it, but I don't know. I don't know if there's like if you want to open that can of worms, because then I could see, depending what the kind of personality these people have, they would just throw something in your face like, you don't pay rent here, you don't pay the mortgage, you get to stay here rent free, right? And that kind of attitude could be really hurtful.
It could be really hurtful, and it's just like, I mean, nobody wants mud in their bathroom, though.
No one.
Like, so.
I mean, that's just men being disgusting or just gross. Come on, take off your fucking shoes.
It's so hard for me, and just hear me out on this. I recognize that he probably pays all the bills. But if we agreed to an understanding, if we agreed that, like, hey, I need your support, I need you, my person, I need your financial support for 4 months. Does that mean, like, I don't have any rights during that 4 months? But it's like, you can't.
Yeah,
like,
I hate that. I
right.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
And that's
like
how
right
a lot
now,
of people operate it. A lot of people are like, well, until you, like, I agreed to support you for 4 months, and until you pay a bill, I can do what I want. And I don't like that.
I hate that. For example, if we were to go on a family vacation, and we were to pay a little bit extra to, like, say an extra night, and everybody in the family vacation paid a little bit less, I wouldn't be like, well, we paid extra for this Airbnb, so we get to have more of the house. No, like, we all did this together.
Which
and
sucks. I know that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with that, but.
Like, we agreed to, like, we're all saying, I'll just use my family together. Like, I was like, hey, we're flying in to the East Coast, and everyone had a certain budget, and Amber was like, hey, let's get there a day early. We'll just cover the extra expense for that day.
Right.
I'm not going to go there and be like, oh, I get to choose the best room. Like,
I didn't say that. We might choose the biggest room.
Yeah,
I ain't even gonna hold you. But you know what we're not gonna do? We're not gonna say, well, we don't have to clean up after our own dishes because we bought this.
But even then,
that's what I don't like.
We probably wouldn't choose the biggest room because there's other people coming with 2 kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
yeah,
like, we wouldn't do that.
We wouldn't do that.
That's not how we operate.
Yeah.
But I know some people operate that way. It's like, well, you're living here free. You're doing this thing for free. No.
And I've had to catch myself jokingly saying that at the house too. Like,
it's like, oh, Ben, I make all of the bills.
Right,
like,
right.
You need to, I was like, no, I get to relax too.
Yes. Well, my problem is, like, if I'm paying all the bills, that doesn't mean I never have to clean a dish.
Correct,
like, that's the issue.
Yeah.
What
and
is frustrating is when I pay all the bills and I'm cleaning all dishes.
I'm also holding that phone, right? Getting footage.
You are. Yeah,
I'm doing
behind every video.
Name.
Yes, but behind every video, you were either in it or holding the phone or helping me edit it. So you're
I'm
a
reading
part
the
of the
script.
success.
I'm like, hey, this doesn't work. I think this works. Go this direction.
You are.
So there's this idea that
I
if I pay more, I deserve more.
Exactly.
And
I don't like that.
It comes back even when we were paying rent somewhere and the person below us was paying the mortgage, and you were doing, like, I think in the middle of the day, you were, like, teaching a yoga class, and our landlord was like, you need to be more quieter because she owns and you don't. And at that point, I was like, yo, go fuck yourself, dude. Yeah,
like, I'm still a human being, like, and you agreed to support me financially. So maybe sure, she helped clean up the sandwiches, especially if she's there. Maybe she helps clean up the sandwiches. But, like, y'all are grown men stomping around in mud all day. You could easily just leave your shoes outside.
Pick up the sandwich sounds like a misogynistic, like, thing. Like, you can clean up your own shit. I was joking by that before.
Of course. I recognize, like, these men might have a tight window to eat a lunch break, and they might not be able to clean everything up. Yeah. So it's like, y'all, I'm sorry, but, like, we're working on the property, we're working on the land. We just got to come in, eat a quick sandwich, and be out. Like, I see that. There is no need for your mud to be in the house. Like, that's what I'm like, I draw a line there.
Why do men, like, workmen, don't like to take off their boots? They're like, I guess it takes them longer to lace it up. But that happens all the time.
And I would
like,
tell
take
my
off some fucking, or
boyfriend, because he's probably unaware that they're tracking all this dirt in the house.
You know what you can do? You know what I would recommend her doing? And this is...
Get those little shower cap shoes
Get the shower cap shoes thing and be like, hey, and it's sort of a passive-aggressive way of addressing the issue.
Sure.
But it's not really even passive aggressive. It's saying, hey, I don't want mud being tracked through. can you guys just put these on?
Right. That's it.
I think that's totally fair.
That's it.
And talk
Nobody
to the
wants mud
boyfriend.
in their house.
No
whether
one
you have
wants
financial problems
because
or not.
that shit can like really dig into your carpet. Just make it about the house. Make it about the house and because it is his house. Make it about the house and less about you.
Yes.
And I think you could get what you want.
What's Raquel Martin says? She's like, you deserve a clean space. Like, you work so hard, baby. You pay all the bills. You deserve to have a clean floor
Love
too.
It. Next caller.
Next caller. We reached a consensus there. All right, here we go. This one's a funny one. This one, I might have to keep it real with you on this one, friend. Here we go.
So this is really not any relationship advice. This is just me trying to see if I'm wrong. Even though I know I'm wrong, but I just want y'all to let me know if what I'm doing is not too bad. So I am single. I have 2 children. I was in a relationship for 9 years. And we broke up. And we broke up when I was about 25. So, which means that was like my whole life. That was my only boyfriend I ever knew. Been single for a while because of so much trauma of that put on me. Like starting a relationship at 15 and then having 2 kids and leaving when you're like 25. You know, that was like a lot of trauma. So I always said I didn't want to get in a relationship because I wanted to heal from that because that was a lot. So now I have men attracted to me that are men who is way older than me. Can you guys give me any answers as to why most of the men that are attracted to me are way older than me? It's one guy in particular that I'm just kind of talking to. I met him in an Uber. But he does a lot for me. Like, he does everything, but he says he's married. So tell me if I'm wrong.
He's married? Mm-hmm. I mean, what kind of marriage?
No.
Is it a loveless?
They probably.
Is it a loveless marriage? Is it a marriage which the polyamory is okay? I mean,
likely not if she's feeling like, am I wrong? Because I feel like she would have said like, but they're in an open marriage and it's cool. I'm going to say this. And I'm not even going to say this like this couldn't have happened to me at some point in my life. When I was in 9th grade, I dated a senior in high school. So I was like 14, 15, and he was 18. And after him and he cheated on me. I never had sex with this guy because I was just still like, I know I don't want to do that yet. I know I'm not ready for that yet. But it felt so good that an older man was into me, you know?
Was he the first one to suck on your nipples at that place we went to?
No, Ben.
We were like driving. She's like, and that's the first place. That's the place where I got my nipples. Oh, it was the bowling alley. We drove by the bowling alley, and that's the bowling alley where I got my nipples sucked on for the first time.
The answer to that is no.
Oh,
Let me give me a second. Because this isn't really a funny thing to talk about. So I'm just going to curb your stupidity for a second. So what the reality is that like older men prey on young girls because they're easily manipulated and they're easy to make feel like special. Like women my age don't get you, like they just don't get it and you get it. Like there's just a lot of that happening. You see why I kind of,
I understand.
Swatted you away like a fly. So even though you are 25, there's like this person that you have been dealing with for 9 years, aka since you've been 15, was likely grooming you. And maybe like we just don't have the language for that sometimes. But like if a significantly older man is constantly like looking to date you, like they like to manipulate young women.
I don't think that was her situation when she was 15. How old was she?
She never shared how old the father of her children were, but I feel like there's a reason she didn't share.
Okay.
And she said they were together for 9 years and they have 2 kids, and now she's 25, and now another older man is pursuing her.
I thought that she was just getting back in the dating game and that older men are only interested into her now. You're assuming that older men has always been interested.
Yeah, because I feel like she explained because it was like, why are older men pursuing me?
Yeah.
So even if it's then versus now.
older men have always been known to prey upon younger women.
Right.
And she's asking why is that the case? And I think you gave a good answer for that.
Right.
And then her other question is should I be the other woman in this situation? Is it okay to be the other woman if he's providing something for me? I mean, you're the only one that can answer that. I don't think like I don't believe in the
well, there has to be some level of like I cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, it's like he's practicing unethical non-monogamy.
Right.
And if you're okay with that, then go for it. But like just be ready for shit to blow up. Because it does blow up,
Well, there's this I think Rena, who we just had on the show last week, put it so eloquently when she was saying like sometimes in life we just want to be chosen. Mm-hmm. Well, this person will accept like this caller is like if they want any scrap of me, that's enough.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not enough. Like it's not enough to be like, well, I'm married, I already chose somebody else, but like you cute, you want to hang out. Like that shouldn't be enough for you to like because it sounds like what you want is a full-time person, a full-time like someone who's gonna love you, support your kids. So you shouldn't just deal with or settle for some guy who literally is telling you off the rip that he cannot give his full self to you.
Yeah. She also implied that people her age are not attracted to her. And I think she's wondering about that as well. Because she's like, only older men are attracted to me. Which begged the question, why aren't people my age attracted to me?
I mean, it's so interesting when we make those generalizations, right? We were talking to her friend recently that's like, I might just have to like get out of the city because there's nobody here that wants to date me. And I'm like, this is a big city. Like, just relax.
Yeah.
Like you might have been on like 3 shitty dates, but is that enough of a reason to move to a new city?
Yeah, why would you assume younger men are not into you? Maybe you went on a few dates with younger men and they weren't into the fact. But I'm sure there are younger men into. I mean,
well, maybe she's referencing like the 2 kids situation.
Yeah, I think
like
there's
maybe
this
20.
idea.
There are 25-year-old men that are like
I don't want to.
I
Start
like
a
that you're 25.
relationship.
I just don't want to be a stepdad at 25. Yeah.
Where an older man might be like, oh, 2 kids. I also have 2 kids. It's
right.
reasonable.
But trust me, there's a 25-year-old man out there with 2 kids.
Yeah.
Or who doesn't,
or like who doesn't care that you have 2 kids.
Right.
Who's like, hey, I love kids. I don't mind that you have 2 kids. Whatever.
I can imagine it would be very. I want to validate this caller and say like it is probably very difficult to date at 25 years old with 2 kids.
I know there are support groups for people trying to date with kids. I would go online like how to like find some
that's a good idea.
find some like Reddit threads or just find a community of people who are going through something similar as you, and I think that could give you some more confidence, to give you more hope. I can't think of any books, but I know there are books written on this issue, like Dating with Kids or something. Could be a title like Dating with Kids book. You could probably find something, and I think that could just give you some support and like context.
Somebody will be with you. And the last thing I'll say is I'll speak for myself. When I was dating, I was dating with purpose and with intentionality. So like I'm dating, like I met Ben and I'm thinking to myself, like, if we vibe, I want to eventually like marry this man, start a family with him, start a life with him. So why would I at the starting point entertain someone I know I can't maybe one day marry, maybe one day start a life with, because they're already doing that with somebody else?
Yeah, and that's the question she should be asking, because
Right.
I think she would reveal some parts about herself, which is like, I enjoy the attention, I enjoy the sex, and if that's all you want, continue doing it.
That's fine.
But
right.
if you want something else, if you're looking for something that more long term, like just figure out what you want.
Agreed.
And like even write down everything, like what do I want, and find that inner knowing, because then that will guide you how you're going to navigate different relationships with people.
What do you want, Ben?
I want that like red get up, but like in my style. It looks so good. You look like if we both
Hey, Taylor.
were, yeah, you look great.
Thank you. All right. You want to get into our last segment of the show?
Yeah.
The last segment of our show is called Shelfie.
Ooh.
I have one thing that I want to talk about. It's not so much a book that's on the shelf, but it is what I'm watching right now, and that is RuPaul's Drag Race. We have a new batch of queens. I'm watching, y'all. I'm claiming that either like my top 3 faves right now are Nymphia Wind, Q, and Saphira. So stay on the lookout for those queens.
Who's the queen who does like the bigger girl who does like all the flips and shit? That's so cool.
Her name is Maya, and again, we're recording this in the past, so if this person's been eliminated by now, here's why I probably think she will one day be eliminated. So the episode that I've watched so far, there was a sewing challenge that she did. So it's interesting because like it's 2024. Drag queens, you have to be able to do many different talents.
The game has been upped.
The game has been upped. This is this is the Olympics of drag. So that is so great that you can do backflips at brunch. Can you do comedy and improv? Can you do a roast?
That's
Can
funny.
you do a sewing challenge?
Yeah.
Can you work well on stage with like we're looking for the next batch of girls that can do international shows. Not just brunch. So that queen is really talented, and some of the names of queens this season are so bad. This is what it's like. Her name is. This is a black girl, so I don't want to completely shit on her, but her name is like Maya.
You go look it up. Go look it
Yeah.
up. I'm gonna give y'all some drama that's going on. So apparently there's this trend where there are certain drag queens who think I can just do something stupid and outrageous, and this is going to be a formula for becoming a great drag queen. And apparently there's a lot of fun beef going on, that there's a Jimbo copy with like the big tits. I love Jimbo.
Yeah, Plain
Fucking
Jane.
awesome. One of like my favorite drag queens ever.
Jimbo, yes. Plain Jane
But
is
Plain
the wish
Jane
version.
is like, mimicking things and repeating Jimbo's lines.
She's
and
trying to be this
stealing.
season's villain, but it's not. It's just like you can tell she wants camera time.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm like, we love a villain.
Yep.
Like, but if you're gonna be a villain, be 10 toes down in your villainy. Because one time she did something really shady at the beginning of the season, and then when she discovered that like maybe everyone was about to find out about that, she was like, "Oh god, like I really hope this doesn't go that way." I'm like, "No, you're the villain.
Just double down
Just
and
be
make
like,
it funny.
When these bitches find out that that's how I voted, it's gonna be on and popping. Like
Yeah.
just
Double
sit
down.
in it." So I hate this like. Oh, you're not a real
There's
villain.
a
you just
level
want
of
camera time.
immaturity there and a lack
Yes.
of practice, I think. And,
Right.
And, when I watch her do her drag, for me, it feels...
Yeah, Ben's obviously rubbing my feet.
Yeah,
watching
I was
really
rubbing your feet watching it. And I walk in and out of just reality TV show, game shows. They just don't ever attract me. But I do enjoy this for the culture.
Of course.
To the culture. But I was watching it. It just felt like bad imitation.
Yeah. Okay, that queen that does all the flips, God love her. She's a Miami queen. Her name is Maya Iman LePage. Probably from like the House of LePage or something. I just like...
That's a lot.
I just feel like your drag name should sound like some sort of play on words and a funny pun.
Yeah.
Something like that. So Maya Iman LePage, that's just some kid's name that I taught. Like that's how I feel about it. I'm like, what? Whereas there's this one queen this season who has pretty bad drag. They've probably been eliminated by now because they just do not know how to paint their face well. But her first name is Amanda. Second name is Tori. Last name is Meeting, like MEATI.
A mandatory meeting.
Yes. That's funny.
That's cute.
I think she could have dropped the A and it could have been like mandatory meeting. Or there's a
Does she
queen in
do
the past.
like business drag and like funny?
No, of course not. Of course she does like sci-fi drag one day and then other drag the next day.
Just like lean in,
Lean
find
into
your
the
bit
name.
and then lean into
She's a
it.
business queen. Yeah.
These people need to take some sort of like brainstorming class.
They do.
The process of like creating a brainstorm and then building off of that. I'm in a short story writing class right now, and the professor is so fucking good and so helpful. But the idea, just the process of coming up with ideas is a process that needs to be taught and practiced.
Yeah.
And then extracting the best ideas and then building out those in stories. It's very similar to drag. I want to do a drag bit, or I'm going to put a costume together. How do I do that consistently
Right.
with a style, with a trend.
And make this
And
whole
make it
thing
me.
cohesive. How can I build out my cinematic universe?
Yeah.
Like there's this one queen whose name is Plasma, right? So if you closed your eyes and thought about like what would
blood.
Plasma's aesthetic be? What would
Yeah.
it be?
It would be your suit. You got the blood. You got the blood plasma.
Maybe some blood, maybe some
Yeah.
sci-fi, maybe some
Yeah.
fantasy. No, this queen is like
Ectoplasma, microbiology type of
yeah.
weird shit, you know?
weird, mad scientist shit.
Yeah.
And she enters the workroom and she's like, I'm a 50s queen. Like 50s, like Judy Garland. You know, you're like,
Change your fucking name.
change your name, doll.
Be
like,
consistent. Be on brand. Brand building
what's
is
the brand?
huge.
Yes.
Amber knows a lot about brand building.
And I'm slowly building out my brand because I too I'll like start working on something and then I'm like, is this gonna be the brand now?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm making some comedy videos and then Ben pops in. It's like, okay, wait, am I a family brand now? It's
Yeah,
like, no,
it's
like
like
let's rein it in.
we-
I'm Amber. Here's all the projects that I do. Here's who I'm married to. Here's who I parent. But like this is all needs to live under the Amber cinematic universe. A little bit. And of course I love doing the show with you, but like it is I can totally see it's easy for these queens to like get lost in the sauce. But why is your name Plasma and then why is your aesthetic 50s? Why is your name Plain Jane and you walk out like dressed like a hooker? That's not Plain Jane. Lean into the schoolgirl fantasy.
Yeah.
Like I don't like not that every look has to be that, but if you're gonna name your character something like that, it should make sense.
Yeah.
I kind of love when drag queens do wordplay names. Like remember, there's a name that has gotten thrown out of the writer's room in the world of us creating future baby names. And you know me, I'll share it with people because I know it's not going to happen. So the name that I love for a male child is Worth. I love a one syllable. I love the alliteration. So it would be WORTHE, Worth.
That literally sounds like some genocidal pilgrim going out every day to like
Worth
kill,
Wildin'? I love
kill
it.
indigenous
I love how
people.
Worth and Wild sounds. I would love to name this child.
Worth is like a Puritan pilgrim name.
Worth?
Worth.
No, it's kind of like a footballer name or something.
Wordsworth.
I
or like-
love how if this kid's first name was Worth, I would put their middle name as Moore, as in Moore.
Worth. No.
Worthmore Wallen is fire. Ben's not gonna let me do it.
Don't be a drag queen, Amber. I think
know,
you would
I know, but
struggle.
I'm obsessed. It sounds rich. It sounds luxury. It sounds bougie. I love it. But Ben doesn't like it, so I'm not gonna name that child that. But I love when drag queens do that. Like, remember that one Australian queen? Her name is like her first name is Courtney. Her last name is Act.
Courtney Act.
Right. So when she says it with her Australian accent, it sounds like
Courtney Act.
Courtney Act. Yeah. It sounds like caught in the act. Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney.
Cognac.
That's a horrible.
Cognac. Cognac.
I apologize to all the Australians that were just offended right now. But I'm just saying, I like that. You know, Sharon Needles, another great name. This queen is racist and now disgraced, but it's
Sharon
a good
Needles?
name. Sharon Needles is not the girl anymore.
Wait, what happened?
We'll offline.
Really?
We'll follow up.
Okay.
Circle back and close the loop on that. But anyway, I'm just going on and on. Watch the season of Drag Race. Take your kids to see Godzilla -1, right?
Yeah,
If
comment
they didn't learn anything
below.
else, comment.
on YouTube.
Y'all better keep that love going on YouTube.
On YouTube. Write a podcast review. You know.
Ooh, yes.
Come see us in Highland Park in LA.
Yep, at the Lodge Room.
At the Lodge Room.
February
Hell yeah.
21st.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Fly on the Wall and Podcast. Here's your outro music. Bye, friends.
You know they're from TikTok, cause those laughs keep you coming, cause they're wildin' all the time. Before Wild throws a tantrum, listen to our silly